You're listening to the Productive Not Busy podcast, where our mission is to make you more money so you'll have less stress and more free time. It's all about mindset, attitude, and taking action. And your host, Wayne Weathersby, knows how to make that happen. He's negotiated and closed over $150 million in contracts while building businesses with proven success strategies that he wants to share with you. So if you're ready to make some real money, then let's get to it. Here's Coach Wayne.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to this. Welcome back to the Productive Not Busy podcast. Appreciate you being with us. Today, we're going to talk about failures. Hit pretty hard this weekend with a conversation from a client that is really struggling. Just jumped on board with our coaching program, and we're trying to work through some stuff to help them. And basically, what I shared with them is that success stories are, admittedly heavy on the positive experiences. There are no failures at a high school reunion, and similarly, there are no memories or entrepreneurial how-to books that dwell on failure, right? I've had a great deal of success in a relatively short period of time in each endeavor, and I intend to continue to be successful because I believe I understand how to be successful. And I will have and continue striving for new opportunities and new ventures. That's why I had this podcast. This was a venture. I wanted to share the knowledge. I wanted to share the inspiration. I wanted to share the success and the positivity and the mindset. It's important to remember that failure is an essential part of success. Some people consider failure to be the opposite of success. I disagree. Failure is how we learn, and studies show that those entrepreneurs who regard themselves as successful identify an average of 3 failures per person in their professional past. Were these successful individuals defeated when they failed? No. In fact, in my opinion, it's quite the opposite. Clearly, most of these successful people were inspired and spurred onward by defeat, seeing their failures as signs to work harder or smarter or both. It is the rare individual who really has sailed through life with no setbacks. It's the essential that when you are encountering failure, you learn from it. Don't dwell on defeat. Don't seek to assign the blame, and don't run your mistakes. Right? Don't run from them. Learn from what your experiences have taught you, the positives and the negatives, and move on to your next venture or continue pressing on with the one that you're going through at the moment. I have no intention of backing down when confronted by adversity. I intend to face every challenge head on with my knowledge and my passion. So to learn from mistakes and move forward whenever possible with huge enthusiasm. I encourage everybody to do this. Remember, we are all self-made, but only those among us that are truly successful will ever admit it. Right? So people ask, what are you going to do on? So what's next for me? I'm going to continue to grow as an entrepreneur, both from my existing businesses and in other areas that I find interesting and challenging. I do not know what I'll be drawn to or what the destinations are going to be, but I do know that whatever I go after, wherever I land, I'll be sure to apply all the principles for the entrepreneurial success that we cover in this podcast. Use these principles as a guide, whatever you need more inspiration, motivation, or good old-fashioned kick in the ass. So we want to help you develop an entrepreneurial success mindset, develop the attributes of the knowledge, motivation, confidence, strategies, and resourcefulness. Apply these attributes to all of your business endeavors, every single one, actually everything in life. Hell, we talked about doing dishes last time. right? Have the right attitude, have the right mindset, have the right approach, and get stuff done, right? You want to know. Knowledge is power. And now that you have, listened to this podcast for a while, you've acquired new knowledge. At least that's my intent. You have learned that what is required to maintain the entrepreneurial mindset that will lead you to success. See, know the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is how each reacts to difficult times, not the easy times. Successful people always think positively and are more motivated to succeed and better themselves, no matter how things are going. And all successful entrepreneurs have confidence in themselves and a motivation to succeed. They're not looking for outside reasons on why they're failing, right? It's funny when people are successful, it's all about themselves and what they've done. But when things are going sideways and sour, oh, it's the weather, it's the economy, it's the president, it's my marriage, it's my kids, right? Everybody's seen that. It's true that some people are born with an ability to think like an entrepreneur, and these people have a definitive advantage. But this way of thinking can be learned. It's simply a matter of following established principles and applying them to every endeavor. Anyone who can be Anybody can be taught to think like or train themselves to think like an entrepreneur or successful salesperson. And whether you're born with it or acquire the skill, once you have the right mindset and to master these basic principles, success is just like around the corner, man. Whether you are driven by entrepreneurial spirit or by a desire to improve your existing life and work situations, these principles are applicable in life in general and everything that we do. See, there's ideas all around us. So you want to know things you're passionate about can be your best business ideas, especially like hobbies, because your knowledge of the subject and your enthusiasm for what you're doing is more inspiring than actually the money that comes from doing it. I knew my customer base when I was in the automotive industry because it was my customer base, and my knowledge and enthusiasm of my product shared with them led to greater success than those who lacked my understanding and passion of the same product. See, my hobbies became my business because I wanted to enhance the things I already enjoyed doing. Sometimes the simplest and most easily engineered business ideas are just lying there right in front of you, waiting to be discovered. See, when I was a kid, I discovered that I could sell baseball cards I purchased at trade shows in my area and sell them for a profit. I was like flipping baseball cards. It was a complete accident, but from the first time, my dad took me to one of the card shows, I knew I could succeed in that environment. It was just a gut feeling. The fact that the other vendors were older and like these old retired guys didn't intimidate me. In fact, because I pursued the notion of selling cards at an age when most kids were just collecting them, gave me an edge. Because the fact that I was a kid playing a trade amongst older people made me an instant draw. See, most of the collectors were kids around my age, so I just wasn't selling to my demographic. I was the demographic. I had discovered a new idea, and maybe I wasn't the first kid to realize the advantage someone my age had in collectible market, but I was the first to act on it. The process can work in reverse as well. Find an idea that intrigues you, learn about it, and follow that happy pursuit of knowledge into business. See, the adage that one must do in life what one enjoys in order to succeed is probably true. I truly believe that by doing what you love, you'll always have greater success than when you're doing something purely just because it's a high paying job. And don't stop exploring and learning because there are ideas that we'll find all over the place that are exciting and intriguing. And if you have a sense of adventure and then can continue to expand your horizons and your interests, you never know what'll happen. Being aggressive. It's essential to be an aggressive person if you're going to succeed in business. And you must apply all these principles in every endeavor. See, at 14, I was more interested in funding my private fund than actually making myself rich, but the principle was already in place. By aggressively pursuing opportunities, refusing to accept no for an answer, creating strategies and achieving goals, and eliminating the middleman, I had created a profitable business niche for myself. See, I went from being one of the kids on hanging over the railing at the ballpark, hoping for a single signature autograph, or actually going out and buying or seeking the player out to get a signed autograph, to being a vendor for such memorabilia and swapping them out and trading them and flipping them. There were other people who would stake out the hotel where the players would stay, and then there were others who were aggressive, and I managed to get myself into the hotel. But by basically combining friendliness and politeness with an aggressive approach to getting what I wanted. I didn't think of these people as such, but they were my competition. And by being aggressive, I found out a way to outperform my competition. By the time I started other businesses, I'd mastered the art of pursuing goals to, the logical conclusion. I don't know, it starts to breed itself. That was my first real business, but I had practiced my tactics for a few years prior without realizing I had even created a model for entrepreneurial behavior. In all of my ventures, I have aggressively pursued opportunities, refused to accept no for an answer, and created strategies for achieving my goals. Over and over and over, you're going to hear that. It's not magic. It's a basic toolkit. In virtually every business I've ever started, I've reacted to obstacles by circumventing them aggressively. Only by being aggressive can you surpass the competition that is an inherent part of the free market, right? Every single solitary breathing human being can be success. They can be rich. They can be whatever they want to be. No one is stopping them. Don't believe the media. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe your neighbor. Nobody is holding you back from doing any of this. The first one is action. Freaking decide and take action. I don't care what it is. Doing the dishes, losing weight, mowing the yard, washing the car, getting a job, whatever it is, take action. Quit blaming if you're the one that does that. Not everybody's like that, but I see a lot of it, especially in the automotive industry where I still coach and train people. Oh, we had a bad month because it rained, it snowed, it's hot, it's cold, it's windy. We can't get inventory, right? There's always a way. I see people sitting on their butts all around, waiting for the up, waiting for somebody to talk to, when they've got a room 25 foot from them that has got 25 years worth of records of previous customers that already know you, like you, and trust you. I don't care what kind of business you're in. All you have to do is take action, chip away at it. Everybody can be a success. I want to see everybody successful. It tends to be that successful people like to share success, and they have a positive outlook on life, which creates a positive orbit of people around them. It's a great place to be, and I really would like to help you guys get there. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at thefrontlinecoach@gmail.com. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you have questions, please go like and subscribe to this podcast. It's very important. We hit the top 100 charts in the entrepreneurial area over the weekend. Super jacked up and excited about that. Please help us, share it with a friend. Be safe, take care, and sell a bunch. Bye. Hey, we want to say hello to a couple of new supporters to our podcast. First one is the Ohana Guitar Company, skillfully handcrafted guitars. Go visit them today on Instagram at Ohana Guitar Company. Check it out, man. They're super nice. I actually got my first one, and I'm waiting on my second one, and super excited. Also want to welcome aboard the Jax channel from YouTube, the JAX, Jax channel. James, Asher, Xander. Go check out my little buddies on YouTube. Like and subscribe their stuff. They are learning their entrepreneurial spirit early, trying to teach them a little bit about success. Hey, if you guys go check them out, I'd greatly appreciate it. And here we go.
You've been listening to the Productive Not Busy podcast with Coach Wayne. Join us next time for more money-making strategies to help you have less stress and more free time. Follow us on Facebook at Productive Not Busy, on Instagram at frontline.coach.wayne, and on Twitter at Wayne New Jr. And remember, be productive, not busy.